Damn, now I just figured it out. You, Mike, what it is?
Happening, boy. What's going? Ha ha. Yeah.
Lucky. Yo, could you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, my bad, bro. My thing was tripping on me, bro. Hold on. Yeah, bro. I don't know if you saw the title of my stream, bro. But you could give your input as you may. I know
What's the
you're
title?
why I hate hip hop, part one of a couple thousand.
Well, I don't hate hip hop. My
Well,
whole thing is
we'll get into it. We got
my
time to.
whole thing is that people get it fucked up and allow uh some of these artists out there to call themselves hip hop when they not.
No, we'll
You know
get
what I'm
into it
saying?
though. We'll get into it though. But let the people see what you're doing at this time, man.
Oh,
Let them
baby,
see
I
the
got I'm out here on the water, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you
let
see it, but
let them
I'm
know
out here on the water.
know
You know,
let them
chilling.
know the name of your ship too.
Oh, LDBC 1, baby.
That's what's up, bro. Mike's an avid fisherman, outdoorsman in the beautiful waters of Michigan.
I don't know about beautiful, but shit. Earlier, I was tearing that ass up.
Yeah, bro. Nah, but before I get into the topic at hand, I wanted to give a little bit of a background that not background on me, but like background on why I hate hip hop. But I know you're younger than me, but I'm damn near 40. But the first music I oh one of the first bits of music or groups of music that I loved was hip hop coming up. I was listening to hip hop like in my school, like there were a lot of cats that didn't even know what rap was. Like and this is like kindergarten because like hip hop wasn't like mad popular at first. But but Run DMC was around the time that I started liking hip hop, the Fat Boys. But a lot of students, like kids that were my age, didn't like hip hop or didn't know what it was. Like by the time I hit like 7, 8, that's when it really started popping off. Like where kids that were like in my school were into it and whatnot. But I liked hip hop for a minute. But that shit is just trash now, man. I can't mess with it at all. It's I mean, and I brought up this subject because a lot of people were talking about that Takashi shit. Um, like that's prevalent now, and unfortunately, he's like the biggest thing going like as of yesterday. In spite of all the ratting, in spite of the fact that he's can't rap, the fact that I really don't consider that hip hop or rap, like, but that was part of the reason that I wanted to make the stream, and I wanted to do other ones that were similar to this vein. So that's why I said part one of 1,000. But now let the people know. Like I don't know if you mind telling us too, man. Like because Mike, because a lot of people may not know. Like or if you're comfortable not talking about it, like
Nah, I don't.
your uncle, like
Oh, yeah, nah. I got 5%. I'm trying to hold up. Let me I'm trying to hook my give me a second. I'm trying to hook this damn fuck it. I'm just gonna work with what I got. Like what you mean by with him?
no like about letting people know like that you got a family member that's actually in the game.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't acting no more and stuff like that, but you know what I'm saying is the simple fact is that, you know, I keep trying to tell people is that, when if you're a civilian, when it comes to these rats and stuff like that, you probably should just keep your motherfucking mouth shut. You know what I'm
No, but
saying?
let the people
Because
know who your family member is though.
oh yeah, my well, I got a couple of heavy hitters in my family, but the one I can speak of, is Black Mikey. You know what I'm saying? And he for sure don't approve on it, but at the end of the day, a lot of people seen that shit coming. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is what it is. He's he a blood and all that stuff. At one
No,
point he was
solely on the hip hop. Before we even get into that, though,
oh
like he's an established rapper. Like and the only reason and I'm not like I know he's a San Diego rapper, but when you brought his name up in a live stream one time, like in a chat, like other people were co-signing, yeah, like you're like, yo, I don't know if y'all know who Black Mike is, but he's a family member of yours. But other people, even though I didn't know who he was, other people in the chat were co-signing, like, yeah, of course we know who Black Mike is. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like he's just some mixtape dude that nobody knows of. Like the only other people in the live chat where Mike first discussed it were co-signing it. Like, yeah, of course we know who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like that's before anything though. Like as far as the rap shit, it's not like he's like some nobody in the game. Even though he may not be active or not, like motherfuckers like knew who he was. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's not like he's not a mainstream artist or anything like that. But when you think of everybody in the rap game in San Diego know who he is. Everybody that's active, the street soldiers and stuff like that, they know who he is. And a lot of some of these artists out here, big name artists, know who he is. But the thing about it is that you can go check him out. Just type in Black Mikey. You can find his YouTube page. He got some slappers on there. He stayed making music. He never quit. You know what I'm saying? He got songs damn near from 95 on his YouTube, all from 95 to 2020. You know what I'm saying? Very versatile rapper. He could do the reggae shit.
And he's a street dude too.
Yeah. Basically he's my grandma's sister's son. And my uncles grew up around him, and so that allowed me to get to know who he is through them, because I always hanged around with, you go over Grandpa's house, they over there, you know what I'm saying, in the backyard, doing their thing and stuff like that. And whooping our asses and shit like that, keeping us in line, showing us the pecking order, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people out here, they get the game fucked up when you have these loudmouth motherfuckers out here. I put it like this, man. You can't be a mainstream artist and be a street nigga. You can't do that. You can't do that.
You can do it for a couple months. Nowadays.
It's gonna get you some numbers and all that stuff. It's gonna get your account up. It's gonna get your numbers up and all that stuff. But in the end result of it, all that stuff you was doing, you could basically say you was dry snitching. You could say you was snitching on yourself the whole time, because it's gonna come. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Law is gonna come, and when Johnny Law come, they coming. Hold up, they're coming with all they homies to come get you.
You got something, bro?
No, I was on my kayak. I was taking out of the water. I forgot to take my dry pedals out.
Oh. You got like the white gear, you got the white man gear, all top to bottom too. The kayak hat,
it's the smart man gear. It's the smart man gear. I got the rain. I got my booties on, so my feet do get wet. They keep warm. I got the windbreaker on. It's the smart man gear, not the white man gear.
No, the Marmot. Like I only see white guys rocking the Marmot. Like
it's a smart man gear. You know what I'm saying?
No, but as far as like I don't have any family members that are in the game like that. I have a family member that's Spanish hip hop artist, and he was actually pretty big. Like, oh shit, how the hell you put everything back already?
No, I just hopped in the car real quick, so I put this thing on the charge.
Okay. Yeah, but I have a family member who's a Spanish rapper, and he's also well known too. In addition to being like an official street dude, and he's been in the game for a long time. Like his name is Lito, Lito, but they also call him MC Cassidy. Um, as far as like the Spanish, like the Puerto Rican like rap artists, like he had beef with like, that was like his selling point, that he had beef with everybody. But he was on a major label in Puerto Rico. It's called White Lion. Oh no, it's called Pina, Pina Records. And, like the guy, it was named after a big time hustler named Pina out of PR. He like put the money up for a record label. But you know, but even before that, it wasn't like he got me into hip hop. Like, I really like by the time I stopped liking hip hop, I even knew of his existence, pretty much. But like the game, like for me, started souring, like personally, a long time ago, and I would say like in 2000, bro. Like it was a long, long time ago. In 2000, I mean, like there were a lot of good records that were being made then too. Like It's Dark and Hell is Hot, I think came out the year before, like 99. Reasonable, no, not Reasonable Doubt. Jay-Z's not In My Lifetime either. Jay-Z's record that had like Money Cash Hoes and Hard Knock Life came out that same year probably. So there was still like classic records being made, but it's just that of all like because I see a lot of dudes that are my age that still listen to rap, like today's rap, and it's like almost embarrassing, bro. It just seems like I can't catch myself like doing that. And then you got a lot of the other factors, like as far as like to me, like everything in rap is like straight bullshit. Like it's just a lie. Like I've like in my era, like when I was still going to like hip hop clubs and whatnot, um, like I've seen dudes. Well, I'm not gonna say I ran up on dudes because I don't want to implicate myself, but I've seen dudes that got run up on like rappers, and they caved, bro. They caved entirely. They like I've seen like
Hold up,
rappers
hold up,
entourage.
hold up. I
Pardon me?
got 1%. I got 1%. I'm gonna put this shit in the car. I'm gonna get home and get back on.
Okay,
All right.
definitely, bro. P Boxing is on too, man. I'm gonna let him in. Yo, P Boxing, bro. What it is?
What's good, Alpha? What you
Thanks for
saying?
coming through, man.
Yeah, man. Basically, I just seen the WhatsApp. Yeah, I was walking in there with my friends in there. I walk a lot during the night.
Me too.
It's like what? It's like nearly 1 o'clock in the morning now in the UK now. So
Oh, that's what's
just
up,
literally
man.
your message.
I love walking at night, bro. I love walking in general too.
Yeah, I walk like what? Like 2.5 miles, 3 miles. Like I walk and then I walk back again in there with my friends. Yeah. Like we look like we're like it's a bunch of us in there. We're all black. We look like we're intimidating, but we're not actually. We're friendly people, man. Even though we all wear hoodies and stuff like that, but we don't harm no one, man.
Nah, definitely, bro. Nah, I love walking, bro. Like I walk like 2 neighborhoods over, like from my cribs and back with the wifey. But I don't look intimidating, bro. I look like a white boy.
No. What are you, like Mexican?
No, I'm Puerto Rican.
Oh, is that class as Latin?
Yeah, Latin American, Puerto Rican.
No, you don't look white, man. You look like Latino, like and like white is different, and like like the real white is like the people that live in the UK, like the people with blonde like hair, blue eyes.
The thing of it is that I come from the streets, but I've always talked like I've always enunciated or try to speak properly, and even when I was like in the hood and doing hood stuff, whatever. But I've always like a lot of people like my boys would call me Black Joe, kind of like making fun that I talk like a white guy more than I did like like, so they would call me Black Joe, like making it seem like I was the opposite of talking like a black dude. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot.
There's no point talking like like it's good to talk the way you feel comfortable. Like it doesn't matter what color you are. Like if you want to talk like what I'm saying, bro, man, you know what I mean? Like you could talk like that. If you want to talk like it doesn't matter, man. Like how you feel
a lot
comfortable.
Of my friends talk that way. Like a lot, like growing up, everybody who I knew talked like that. But I always like I would always read and stuff like that. Like I'd read comic books, read the Bible. so I learned a lot of words like because of that. Like, and I was, I always thought like it would sound stupid to talk like in a New York hood way while trying to speak properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I that's why I would forcefully try to like enunciate or like, just try to have good diction like when I spoke, like, like and I always try to do that too because I stopped going to school really early. Like I dropped out like when I was in ninth grade, it was like 14. So I try to take pride in that. No, but I don't know if you saw the title of the stream too, and I just started cooking with Mike on it, P Box, and it was why I hate hip hop part 1 of 1,000.
Oh, hip hop, yeah. I haven't listened to music for a long time. I don't know who's like at the top of the game, but I heard about Tekashi 69. He's been released from prison, and he's saying he's the king of New York, like and he's what do you think about that anyway?
Well, actively, I mean, like out of any rapper right now, he probably is the king of New York. Like, he's the one that's probably resonating the most. I mean, I don't listen to like any of his music. I've heard like some of his songs, including that last song that he did. But I was just telling Mike that as far as like being an active, I may be a little bit older than you, but I'm about to be 40.
Yeah, I'm 33. I forgot my age, man. As soon as you turn 30, you forget age, innit? Like age is
Especially
just
at
a number sometimes.
33 is like when you become a real adult too. That's when Jesus died. But
Oh, seriously, is that when Jesus? Yeah.
yeah,
'Cause,
that's when you become a real man.
Muslim. I'm a Muslim, innit? But I believe in Jesus as well, innit? As you know, like Muslims, they believe in Jesus, innit? Like we believe in Jesus, but it's different story, innit? Like Jesus, the way you believe him in the Bible, but it's similar anyway. Bible and the Quran is similar to each other anyway.
Yeah, the Quran's the third testament, bro. I always tell people that. Like the and I hope you're surviving in the Ramadan, bro. Like it's probably day 20 now, right?
Yeah, I mean it's day 20. You know that, and how do you know that?
Nah, I follow, bro. Like I respect the Muslims. I respect Islam. Like I'm not a Christian
Yeah,
though.
yeah. I mean Christianity, Muslim. I think that's the closest to I think the two religions that are really close to each other is Christianity and the Muslim. It's similar, like the only difference is that we believe like obviously Jesus died differently. Jesus is not dead, but at the same time, everything that we believe in like is similar, like a lot. Like we believe in most of the things that we believe in is the same, really. It's only like a few details that's the difference. But to me, as long as you have a religion and you believe in something, that's what matters, innit? You know what I mean? At least some people don't believe in nothing at all, and but if you believe in God, that's what matters, man. There's only one God, and that's God, innit?
Yeah, I mean, like it deviated for me along the years though, because I never was Christian, but I grew up Christian. Like I was kind of like forced to go to church and whatnot. Like grew up Pentecostal actually. I don't know if they have that in the UK, but
a castle, yeah,
huh?
a castle.
No, Pentecostal. It's like Baptist, but like
Oh,
oh,
yeah, we call
salute
it a
to
church.
Brooklyn.
We call it a church. A
Oh
church, you
no,
mean,
but
yeah?
Pentecostals like those religions, like I don't know if you ever seen like those people that handle the snakes on salute to Brooklyn Child too, man. Thanks for coming through. But like on they show those like country like those hicks. They like snake handlers and shit in on TV.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah. So you grew up. That's tough life,
No,
man.
no,
Like,
that's like an extreme Pentecostal. But like as far as those kind of churches, like where they sing and all that stuff, where you like the women gotta wear dresses and stuff like that. I grew up like that. But I was never into church one bit, bro. Like my brothers, like, my brothers were all like hood ass dudes, like, but they were always like they had that the fear of God type stuff. I never had that stuff. Like it was never my thing. Like I was never like singing in churches. My brothers were singing in churches, and they were like fucking and like robbing and whatnot. But while they had that little bit of like, oh, like God's not gonna like that I do this or that. I never had that. Like it never really resonated with me like that. But I still had to grow up like in church. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have a choice when I was a kid and whatnot.
But at least that growing up in a church, like obviously that it teaches you respect. It teaches you like to respect everyone, and that's good because at least like you got something to believe in. You know what I mean? Like some people like they grow up like on the streets, literally, like they haven't got no family. Like you had some sort of family. So So when you grew up in the church, does that mean like you didn't have no family with your father and mother wasn't there then? Was it there?
No. My pops is always around, but he was may rest in peace, but he was on drugs. Like
Yeah,
my
that's the
pops actually, yeah, my pops actually passed in due to a overdose on drugs a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
RIP, bro. Man.
my mom's though was like heavy into like making us go to church and whatnot. But I hated church. Like I couldn't stand church. I thought it was mad boring. Like I wanted to be watching basketball on Sundays. And the thing is, we would have to go to church like 4 times a week, and that shit was like a church marathon. That's like 3 hours, like 3 days a week for 3 hours, and then fucking on Sundays that shit would be like 7 hours, bro. 7 hours, sitting 7 hours, bro. Like as a fucking horny ass teenager, like it's terrible. So for me, it was like torture.
So there was no girls, yeah. There's no girls in the
Oh no,
church.
there was girls, bro. There was nice girls too. I mean, like you really couldn't like. There was no time to spit game, if you will. Like a lot of the first girls I ever liked were like from like church and whatnot. But it just sucked though. I mean, it's just like it was you couldn't like you had to like sit down that whole time and like ingest it all. It stuck. Like I never liked church. I'll never go back to church. Like I've been in life or death situations and like it was never like God, if you get me out of this, I'm taking my ass back to church. Like nah, never was that for me.
Wow. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got that similar, but I grew up like obviously with my mom and my dad. Like I live in the UK, but I used to live in the Netherlands. I don't know if you know where the Netherlands is.
Of course, I've been to the Netherlands.
Like Amsterdam and stuff like that. You've probably been to Amsterdam.
No, I actually went to Maastricht.
Maastricht, yeah, that is in that's the bottom. Like when you look at the map, like it looks like the Netherlands. The map looks like a tiger. So
Yeah,
that's the Lek version, of the Netherlands. Yeah, that's. Why did you go there anyway, if I may ask?
I can't get into that right now. I mean, I'll probably tell you afterwards. But I went there several times. But I've been there like just to chill too, though. I've been to Amsterdam too.
Yeah. I've been to Amsterdam only like a couple of times, but I used to live in the east of the Netherlands. Yeah, it was all right, man. Like Europe is fine, man. I don't know how it is in America. Like you hear a lot of segregation in America. Like blacks, Latinos, the whites. They're not really together in like like I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the sense that I'm getting at. Like what I mean? Like is that true?
In America?
Yeah.
America's mad racist, bro. Like everything about America is mad is predicated on race for by and large.
So like a black guy can have a white girl, and then like for
You
example,
could.
like
I mean, like when I went in Europe, it was like more like it was more like it wouldn't shock you, like it would hear more, like but it's hard to explain though, because like there were a lot of dudes that I met in Europe, like white cats and black cats that were like hood dudes, like hood dudes, especially in the Netherlands. Like like the ones that I met and like hood dudes that I met in the Netherlands were for the most part like largely like white cats. But
like in England, they basically like you see a lot of like white guys that you think like you would think like this guy like he's not gonna go with a black girl, but it's the opposite. Like you see a white guy that is like he's got a good job, he's wearing a suit and stuff like that. Like and then he's got like when you go to his house, like he's got his wife is black, like like that's what we go. But I don't know if that's like that in America.
I mean, you don't see it presented itself like more like in like relationship status, because I think a lot of people are like swirling more like now than they did in the past. But you see it more like as far as, I mean, I'm pretty sure you've seen like the interactions with the police, with jobs, with the neighborhoods. Like a lot of neighborhoods are kept black, white, or Spanish based on
Ward, the fighter, the boxer Ward, yeah.
Yeah.
He he's got a white dad, isn't he? And he's quite old. Like, you know, I don't know what sort of white dad he had, like whether he was like a street white boy or, you know, or a
Yeah,
guy
I'm
that
not
was
sure.
like,
I know his dad was a fighter though, and he was like straight up like white dude, like you know. But I know his dad used to box. Like in the pictures that they showed of him, he was like in good shape too.
so he was a white dad that obviously, you know, not like an innocent white guy. I'm talking about, and he was a different type of white guy. He was a fighter, innit? His dad, innit? It wasn't
Yeah,
like a normal, like a white guy like that works in like, you know, white
preppy.
neighborhood, you know, those type of
Yeah,
guys.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Like it wasn't no preppy cat. Like it didn't seemingly. Yeah, but you see a lot of like the racist stuff like presented stuff. Like I mean, a lot of people think that New York isn't racist. I think New York is like the most racist place in America. I mean, like based on the laws, like if it, good luck, like because in New York, like you get in trouble a lot more as a black and Spanish cat, and then when you go to court, the court system. I mean, they'll give you 5 years like in 2 seconds in New York. So the probability of you getting arrested in New York is extremely high, especially if you're a Spanish or black cat. And then like when you hit the system, if you don't got money for a lawyer, the probability of you going to jail that in a day or two is extremely high too. So that's why I think New York is one of the most racist places, even though it's a melting pot. Like and a lot of people like that are white don't interact with like black cats, vice versa. You know, Spanish and black cats interact a lot in New York. Like that's like that's why like LA, like you see how Mexican cats they talk like hey Holmes, but black people don't talk like that in LA. But in New York, like you know, Spanish cats talk the same way that black cats do. You know what I'm saying? Like, but in that sense, it's a so you would think like that a lot of that stuff, since you don't see a lot of like Spanish versus black beef in the streets, hard body like that, that things are like you know not racist in New York, but things are very New York's mad racist.
Or L, are you staying on for a bit, or you're going?
No, I'm gonna be on for like another. I'll be on for a little while though, like another
Okay,
like
I'm gonna come back
35
like in
minutes.
about half an hour. Yeah.
Definitely, bro. Did you eat already or
So again, did I
did you
eat?
eat already?
Yeah, I eat, yeah, everything, yeah. But what I'm gonna do now is like I'm gonna like walk back in it. So what I'm gonna do is like, cause I'm with some people now. So when I get back, I'm gonna hop back on in it.
I'll be here, bro.
All right, bro. See you soon, yeah.
Thank you, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying though, as far as like my in when I started falling out of love like with rap music and hip hop in general was probably like in 2000. In 2000, a long ass time ago, bro. Like my son's 18 and he wasn't born in 2000. But there were still records that were being made at that point, like I said earlier, like It's Dark and Hell is Hot, I think came out in 99 or 98. Um Hard Knock Life came out around that time. A lot of good records, a lot of good Southern records too. But I started falling out of love like with rap music around that time. Um, to the point where I would, if I went to like like I wouldn't go to straight up hip hop clubs anymore. Like if I went to hip hop clubs, like they had to be playing like house music. And usually when I went to hip hop clubs that played house music, I wasn't fucking with the hip hop room at all. You know, unless there were like more shorties there. Um, what else? I just like that's kind of like when it started resonating with me, like yo, like hip hop is kind of like dead. But one other thing too is that I started getting into my manhood around that time. Like, you know, it's like when I was turning like 17, 18, and I thought I was like a tough guy, but I would always think to myself, like, you know, these dudes are like not built like that, like what they say on like record. You know, like how could you be like hustling in the street and then have time to like pursue like becoming a big hip hop artist? You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know, it just it started causing that doubt for me, like with a lot of these rappers. Not that I put too much confidence in them in general, because being from New York, not just because I was from New York, but I knew a lot of people that were associated with rappers. Like, so I knew a lot of people that like, um, you know, had beef with rappers like in the street. like the little rap crew from my neighborhood actually put hands on Jay-Z back in the day. They put hands on Jay-Z and they put hands on MOP. Um the So I always used to think like, there's like that's like when hip hop started becoming like more like violent to a sense, which I like, I used to like violent hip hop too, but then I was like, yeah, these dudes are, if they're doing like pursuing the rap thing, like kind of like an artsy venture, like I just don't see like where they could be built like that. Because being built like that, that's like full-time job. Being like a real street like soldier, super soldier type cat, it's that's like a 25-hour a day job, you know. And I'm gonna have like more interviews like with friends of mine that were like, well, I'll just I'm not even gonna, I don't want to blow up my own spot like as far as like what I want to bring down the pipe, but and I want to make this a multi-part series too, like and I want to be very general like the first time out regarding this topic because I want to touch on this many times over. But as you see now, like with this whole like Tekashi instance, that happened, with him coming back into the game. I mean, like to me, symbolically, that's kind of like it's kind of like when your first rapper started wearing like your suspect clothes, tight clothes, if you will. Then it kind of like softened the blow, and then now like it's kind of like expected, like even your most hood rappers like to wear like tight clothing and whatnot. And I don't think that rappers from here on out are gonna start like to snitch um purposely or snitch to try to make a name for themselves. Maybe like they'll do it here and there, but I don't think it's gonna become something like, all right, I'm gonna snitch like that way I can get some name recognition off the rip. I think that's counterproductive. But I think that it softened the blow for it being acceptable in rap music. But and I've always been adamantly against like if you're in the street, like, or if you're a street person, to be snitching. I hate snitches. I hate dry snitching. I hate any kind, like it's just wrong. You know, I always thought that other people held that same ethos, but that's not the case. In fact, I've been snitched on many times. Not many times, but very bad times. Like, in fact, which I think I'll get into that in another video, but I was the worst time I ever got snitched on was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was like one of the worst periods of my life. Not due to that, but I guess I'll get into that in another video. But with the major artists, with probably the most premier artist going like right now, and then you have him with the ability of snitching in a major way, and then still carrying on a career. In fact, he'll probably be the biggest hip hop artist next year, like or in 2020. It's on one of the reasons that I just hate the art form, and I'm a very musical person. In fact, like there's not a green screen. Like I had to show it yesterday. Like that's all records. Like there's all music equipment in this room, production equipment. Um, I haven't produced anything like, or I just bought my production equipment. I've always wanted to produce, but if I do produce like beats, they're gonna be hip hop beats more likely than not. But it doesn't mean that I like the music. It just sucks. Like I can't stand hip hop. My son, I mean, he's 18 years old. Never like, I mean, I've played rap songs in the car, and I still play rap songs here and there in the car. I ain't gonna front, like especially like older stuff. But like like I never let my son like actively listen to rap. My son don't listen to rap, like pretty much. He won't like tell me like put on this song that he likes. That's a rap song. I mean, and if he did like, and it was some current shit, it's not gonna happen. Like I question him. But it's and I did that purposely too. Like I think an example of all these young kids that you see out here now, that are not really built like that, or like that are supposedly super street dudes like a Takashi 69, and then get presented with going to jail for a couple of years, regardless of the situation, and then you go make deals and whatnot. Like, you know, that's just a representation of what hip hop has produced, like the generation that hip hop has put upon us, which is just a bunch of bitch made, semi, like, you know, suspect or super suspect individuals. You know, the if you could find anything that has been the bane of black and Spanish people or hood people, you know, and I say black and Spanish as a New York person, like, you know, I'm not like including I consider black and Spanish people of New York, like Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, one and the same in many for the purposes of this argument. But that generation, or the code that hip hop has produced amongst young people, like just being grimy, driven by the dollar, like hard body, you know, it's it's the biggest bane of black people and Spanish people ever. Like, it was the worst thing that ever happened to us. Like, as far as things that influence us, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the code that, like, you know, how we treat our women. Like, hip hop's always talking about some pimp shit. Like, I've always reviled pimp. Like, I can't stand, like, you know, like when in my neighborhood was very big on like prostitution. Like they actually had like whorehouses. And I personally, like, I'm not gonna say how, and it was always a hands-on effort, if you will. But I've always made sure that if I knew of whorehouses like where I was in my little territory, that they got shut down by my hand. Not no snitching shit, not no anonymous tips, like, you know, grassroots effort, if you will. Um, like but a lot of dudes, a lot of, like, so I mean, like, and it's not because I personally hate like girls being pimped out or the fact that girls have to sell their ass, but hip hop has made that very acceptable. Like, you know, whether it be like with glorifying the pimp shit. And there's not that many pimps in the hood anyway. Like, if you think about it, there's really not. Like, but any hood, you know, but then how the treatment of women in general. I got a lot of the way I treated women when I was young, especially. And I thought I was very nice, like, to women. Like, but there was always an asshole side to me, like how I treated women when I was a young cat. And I picked a lot of those habits up by like hearing my friends talk, or like older cats talk, and they probably picked that up from like how they heard like rappers talk, like about bitches not being shit and whatnot. You know, that all came from like rap. And you see it now too. I mean, like a lot of the rap shit like now glorifies like going to strip clubs and whatnot, you know, if and how bitches ain't shit, but yet you're spending like big time bread in strip club rather than trying to find yourself like a wife and taking around on dates with that bread. You know, you're going and spending it on these dirty, unwashed like strippers. Um, and maybe one in a million times, like you end up bagging a stripper. Like, it usually doesn't happen, especially like in like urban strip clubs. Like, there's very little interaction like with you and those nasty like bros that are in strip clubs. And I mean, like, you know, I don't want to diss like strippers too hard. I diss the dudes that go to strip clubs more than I do a stripper. I don't know why my camera turned off like that. But who's glorifying these like strip clubs? Like, you know, who's glorifying like, you know, the treatment of women? Hip hop, 100%. You know, and do I think hip hop's glorifying like snitching outright? No, but I think symbolically, like by the powers that be who actually run hip hop, that ain't no black cats. Black cats do not run hip hop at any level. Jay-Z don't run hip hop. Who else? Russell Simmons don't run hip hop. And if you think he is, what's Russell Simmons doing right now? Nada. Not Russell Simmons don't run anything in hip hop. Who else? or you name them. There's no black cat that runs anything in hip hop on an executive level, if I will. Ti like don't run shit in hip hop. Don't even have a like record label like that's resonating. Grand Hustle's whack. Ti is whack too. Ti is one of the rappers I like. I think is most overrated that I just can't stand. Snitch. Like you think Takashi's bad, like Ti is right there. Except that Ti is not glorifying the fact that he ended up snitching. But I don't want to get too deep into that. But you know, so like Takashi getting back into the game was a decision that wasn't made by no black cat. It wasn't no black executive or a black executive in some executive office that doesn't exist that decided, like we're gonna let Takashi pop off now. And it wasn't Takashi Tech Nine that solely ran that decision too. There's people that run hip hop more than they do any other music that decide who's gonna pop and who doesn't. Um, and that's another thing too. Like so-called minorities like don't have any say in like who runs like the music that they create. And that's more of like something that I've noticed after the fact, after I didn't like hip hop, like after I started like hating hip hop. But anybody who like the people that consume hip hop the most, which is like people of color, if you will, don't have any sort of pull, like any say so in any of this stuff. But meanwhile, it's domineering like the way we think and the way like our youth thinks. And I don't want to sound old like by saying, we gotta protect the youth and all. Like, nah, I'm talking like a regular dude. I've and I used to love hip hop, man. Believe me. Of any music form, it was always my favorite. I've always liked other music too. I ain't gonna front. Like when I was in the streets, I used to listen to rock. I used to listen to 80s music, like romantic music, not just R&B. Like, I've always had like a palette. And like a lot of my friends knew I liked a lot of that music too. Like I never fronted, you know, that I used to like alternative rock and like but it wasn't like I can't say that so more like it wasn't like one music took up for hip hop like and that's why I deaded hip hop like nah because I stopped liking it so long ago. Like I stopped like I was in my maybe young 20s, but it just sucks like like I also think one of the reasons that got me away from it too is that a lot of the songs that started being made were more engineered to the clubs. And that's all well and good. I used to love going to clubs and you can't dance to Nas in the clubs. Tupac has very little club songs. Nas maybe has 4 club songs. "Owe Me Back" is like a club song. Like I'm trying to think what other Nas club song he has. "Hate Me Now." I mean, I've heard it being played in the clubs, but it's not a club song like that. Um, but I think when you had like in like 97, 98 was when I first started hearing like, oh, this rapper is not like making it as much as this rapper because he's not making songs for the club. Or like, oh, you gotta have a club song on your album. And it wasn't that I was like just adamantly opposed to club music, but it meant to me that a lot of good artists like started getting left in the back burner because of their not being able to make club songs, if you will. And there was a lot of dope club songs that I like. There were a lot of groups that made just club songs that I thought were dope. I thought Sporty Thieves. I mean, a lot of you guys may not even know who Sporty Thieves is. They were a group from Queens in the '90s. I thought they were dope. I thought Crew was dope. CRU. Also, I know they're from the Bronx. Um, but they like I mean these are groups that just made like largely club songs. Who else like that made Beat Nuts? I mean, even though they're Spanish, but they always made several club songs in every one of their albums. I still think they're pretty good too. But and I think that era like wasn't like terrible. Like when I stopped losing interest in hip hop as much, like I didn't dead hip hop completely at that 99, 2004 era. Like, nah, I still listen to rap. I still bought albums here and there, but it wasn't like for a very musical person like myself. It wasn't the driving force like it was before. And I have a lot of friends too, like without giving too much away, that like some of them talk about hip hop like it's like some like how KRS One talks about hip hop, and KRS One's another artist that I kind of hate. Like I'll put it like that. Like I can't stand KRS One. I couldn't stand him a lot when I was young, but I definitely can't stand him now. But I have a lot of friends that talk how a KRS One talks, like where they talk about hip hop like with like such reverence and like the church of hip hop and like I mean I guess like if it would have stood like in a more righteous path, you could speak about it like that. But that would be like me talking about the Church of Frisbees or something. Like it doesn't apply. Like if if you wanted to give it such reverence, like you would do more as a gatekeeper, not just him, like KRS One, but more people would be in the vanguard of saying like I think this is wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong with like things that were obviously shitty that were happening in the hip hop industry. Um, I want to touch on like the subjects that I want to speak on within this subject in the future, and that's why I said part one of 1,000, because I'm going to touch on this many times, and I'm not touching on this. I thought it was a good foray that 6ix9ine just came back out and was largely accepted, or I predict that he's going to be largely accepted. But the reason I said one of 1,000 is because I want to touch on this many times, like because like personally, like if I think it's the bane of like our people, if you will, then I have a lot more to speak on or touch on with this subject. If I could touch on boxing a lot, I think I could touch 1,000 times more on this genre of music that's gone to shit entirely. Um, Another thing too, like I've seen like on chats, like like a lot of channels that I do like when they talk about like rap shit. Like if I talk bad like about like rappers that like I think they bat an eye at me like fucking maybe thinking that I like that I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because I'm not a black cat. Like I know more about rap than most the motherfuckers that like than almost anybody, bro. Like I've known rappers like personally, like I know like the Godfathers of rap. I've met like with the Godfathers of rap. Like I'm very in tune with what's going on. Like like even when I was not liking it that much, even now, like I know who some people are. Like I don't check for their music. Like I think a lot of rap now extremely sucks. Like it's just terrible. But I'm not completely in the dark, like or in the like I know who's who, like to a degree. Like I'm not completely in the dark like that. But when and I think I'm being a little bit of how do you say like or it might be a little bit considered incendiary because I'm saying it, but I don't give a shit. One and two, I think I have a little bit of leeway to speak on it because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I know what the fuck I'm talking about as far as rap goes. Like I know a lot of rap cats, like, and not even just New York. Like I mean, like even though New York is the mecca of hip hop, like undoubtedly, but I know cats from the South before, like the South was even resonating like on a national scale. Like I knew of Memphis rap before, like anybody knew of Memphis rap, like especially New York. I knew of Texas. I mean, Texas kind of like popped off early, like compared to other scenes, like with the Ghetto Boys and um UGK, like. But California rap, I mean, like it kind of like popped off for everybody at the same time, but I trying to give another example of like another scene that I knew about like pretty early. But you get the idea. Like I mean, like or New Orleans. I like New Orleans rap like before it really really popped off. Like I thought. So I mean, like when I do touch on this subject in the future, which I will many times, like don't think I'm doing it just to be incendiary or I may not pronounce that word right, but don't think I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, and a lot of the critiques that I'm gonna register are more like towards like not coming from a rap connoisseur's perspective because that sounds whack, but I'm also a hood connoisseur perspective. Like not saying that like my life like was like a lot of people say like, oh, I'm from the streets. Like I am from the streets, but they make it seem like you got to be there forever, like to be able to speak on it. Nah, bro. Like I fucking don't go back to like now. I've been going back to the hood to bring groceries to a lady where I used to live. But besides that, I don't even go to the hood like to get haircuts anymore. Like I stay well away from the hood as much as I could nowadays. Like, cause I mean, like I'm a grown up now. The fuck, like do I gotta be like actively in the hood like to be able to speak on hood shit every day? Like, I think it's pretty bummy if you live in the hood and you don't try to actively get the fuck out of there, especially if you have kids. And my son's fucking 18. Like, fuck, I'm gonna be like living in like Sunset Park still. My neighborhood is fucking dirty as shit too, like where I'm from. Like I mean I've showed videos in the past like the building like where like in the area like where I was from and this fucking in the video that I did show here on YouTube, which I mean it didn't get like crazy amount of fanfare, like but fucking buildings dirty as shit, fucking bullet holes in the window. The last time I went back, it was a complete disaster. And it was after I made that last video. But you know, do I gotta live like that, like to fucking be able to speak on hood shit? Hell's no. Like fucking that's stupid. Like if you're in the hood, like get the fuck out of the hood. That's my theory. Ain't shit like we don't run shit in the hood. I've gotten beat up by cops, like fucking I don't like to experience cops at any level. Like now, like I'm fucking about to be 40 again. Like, do I gotta be like fucking having some asshole like grab my fucking pants and checking like what the fuck I got and I got no recourse or fucking say so in what's happening? Like that's gay. Like fucking I'm not gonna be doing shit like that. My bad P boxing, like I was kinda like going off in a tangent, bro. If you could hear me like say what up, bro. Like I see you driving.
What's up? Yeah, I was just driving back in at home. Yeah, what was you talking about? I just catch the hood bit. Yeah, talking about the hood.
Well, no,
If you have
like
to leave the hood.
I've been like I was giving a little bit of backstory, like sometimes like because I want to touch on this subject like about like rap and like my distaste for the music. Now I want to touch on it many times, like um going forward. Like it's not gonna be my only thing I touch on, but I want to go back revisit this subject many times over. But I think a lot of times, like when I've like when other channels that I love have talked about like rap stuff, and I like say my distaste like with rappers or certain rappers, like I get like blowback sometimes, and maybe they think it's because as a Puerto Rican cat that maybe I don't have like the that I shouldn't be talking about that stuff. But like what I was saying is that I've been listening to rap for countless years, in addition to like having the hood section part of my life covered. Like, I came up in the hood, like not from the window of my hood, but like from the streets in the hood, like walking, like doing my thing when so like I was just giving a little bit of disclaimers, if you will, like that in the event that somebody tells me like, oh, you shouldn't be talking about rap in that sense or like, these topics in that sense.
Yeah, like you can talk whatever you want. Like, this is your channel. You know what I mean? First of all, and at the same time, like I don't know. I think people just think like you have to be a certain way to be certain way. Like it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, you could be
Yeah,
from the
definitely.
hood, however you want to. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter how you look like. You know, and necessarily most people think because somebody is black, they're from the hood, and if you're white or if you're Puerto Rican or Hispanic, you're not from the hood. But that's far from the truth, man. You can be from the hood. It doesn't matter. Like I didn't grow up in the hood, but I live near the hood, and I see like different colors in the hood. So you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, man. And one another thing too, like I mean, which I'll get to that, like I guess in the future. And Mike just stepped back into the building. Thanks for coming through again, MJ. But one thing I do want to say too is that and that's one of the things I always loved about New York in particular. Like there was always room um with a lot of hood dudes that I knew and a lot of people that like there's always been a room of very conscious talk about all things that pertain to like hood stuff, including like rap, like where like it wasn't like how do I say it? Like like or at least a lot of people I was around, like they would always talk about things like in a very deep sense. Like it wasn't like we were talking about like some deep shit and then some asshole changes the conversation to football and then we go in that direction. Like, like I always and I always appreciated that, like with the about New York and about a lot of the people that I came up with, like, that we always had deep conversations like with these things. So I always had room to think about these things in a deeper sense, if you will. Yo, Mike, are you still outdoors? My bad, bro.
Oh, I'm outdoors, baby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Is
don't
that
know.
you, Mike? Yeah?
See,
Is
look,
that Mike?
you see it?
Is that Mike? Yeah?
You see it? My kayak is upside down, but you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. The LDBC one.
Is that your car?
Yeah,
You
that's
got
my
LDBC
kayak.
on
My
it?
kayak is, yeah, no, that's my
LDBC,
kayak.
yeah.
Nah, P-Boxing, that's his kayak. Like, he has it on top of his car.
That's nice, man. It says LDBC, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, LDBC. I respect the LDBC, man. LDBC, it is, you know what I mean? Like, they're there, you know what I mean? LDBC, man. I never used to know nothing about LDBC until, like, only, like, a couple of months ago.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Nah, I mean, like, I got all the love in the world for LDBC too, man. Like, like the how do I say it? Like but I don't want people that like aren't in tune like with the thinking of like LDBC cats to not feel like they could come here like and chat it up too, or like cause I just I was going into that yesterday as far as like I want people from all walks like to be able to come through or like on these streams and like chat or what I'm saying. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna let the hip hop subject die this evening for the time being. Like but now I wanted to ask you too. What part of why were you living in Holland though?
Holland, yeah, Netherlands, yeah?
Yeah.
No, because originally, like, I was actually born in Africa, like East Africa, Somalia.
Oh, okay.
Do you know Somalia?
Of course, bro.
That's in East Africa. It's called the Horn of Africa. I was born there, and there was a war, and then I had to leave there when I was a child. Then we didn't know where we were going. We had fake passports, and it was early 90s, like, it was 1994, I believe. And the only destination that we could go at the time was America or England, the UK. So, it was like a lottery. So I guess, I ended up in England. I could have easily ended up in America, but I ended up in not in England. I ended up in the Holland, the Netherlands. And yeah, man, it was just one of those ones that you don't know, innit? Because we were like refugee, like,
Yeah.
We fled the country because it's a war, like, war torn. and that's how we ended up in the Netherlands. But I moved to England back in 2001, and I only learned how to speak English only what, less than 20 years ago.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Nah, you speak
Yeah,
well too.
man. I've been through like a long journey, man. It's been a long journey.
I think Mike, Mike, isn't your like your lady like from what? I forgot where you said your lady's from. I know she's African.
Oh, no,
Nigeria.
she's from Nigeria.
Oh, okay, yeah, my bad.
FPL Jagba,
Yeah, but you over there trying to act like we don't know we don't know that because like we have so America has a lot of people from war-stricken countries. You know what I'm saying? You know, one of my buddies, he's from Liberia, and his family got kicked out. I know a guy named Tut, who's from Africa. His family got kicked out, and you know what I'm saying? Because of their family was into politics. So a lot of times, in those countries, this is my burn shit. A lot of times in those countries, you know, when somebody else takes over, you lose the political battle. Somebody else takes over and kill you, and they don't just go after you; they go after the whole family and the whole crew. And you know, that's how they be over there. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want no opposition, and a lot of that stuff is caused by, you know, other countries. You know what I'm saying? Those coups and a lot of those wars and stuff like that. A lot of them is caused by outsiders. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to give somebody the money to get the arms, get all them weapons and stuff like that. Somebody gave it to them. You know what I'm saying? And then if that's the case, they still be having what's the things, embargoes on the weapons with certain countries. Heard that shit. And then you got the whole, you know, what do you call that stuff? You got the United Nations. You got you got all that stuff out there that's constantly giving people or deeming people to commit war crimes and stuff like that. And they ain't got nobody there on the ground to say that they did it, you know, to really prove it. But that stuff happens all the time, man. And that's why I always believe, man, people need to be one with their people and stop letting outsiders change they thinking and stuff like that and take care of them, man. Killing a whole bunch of people and all that stuff is never going to fix anything. It's never going to give you what you want. You know what I'm saying? It just I guess that's the way of you thinking that you gonna get it. Never works. You got places down in South America, people starving, and the money ain't worth shit because of us. You know, because of politics.
Like, when you look at basically like, you know, like when you look at Africa, yeah, Africa used to be like a beautiful continent back in the day. Yeah. What happened to Africa is like basically I think Africa has been broken down by the UK and the USA. Yeah. What they've done is like basically they colonized those countries, and slowly by slowly they broke that country down. Like, you know, when you look at Somalia used to be a nice country. It used to be a country when you look at the history, like, you know, people used to visit from all over the world. But now you don't want to go there because, you know, it's highly likely that you can get killed up there by, you know, not by somebody, by like accidental crossfire. You know, you never know where the bomb is coming from. Like, it can happen anytime. And that's the same
like
with
that in Somalia now?
You mentioned. Huh?
It's still like that in Somalia now?
Yeah. It's like that now. Basically, like, it's all right now. It's a little bit okay now. Basically, we got the United Nations now. Like, we got other African countries now, like looking, like trying to like solve the peace. But at the same time, like, you got like, you know, a terrorist group called Al Shabaab. They're basically a version of ISIS. They kill you if you don't follow their rules. But the United Nations, they're basically trying to get rid of them. But it's hard. But we got outside influence. Like, you got Arabs and all that trying to control the country. Like Nigeria, where Mike's wife's from, you know, they got their own group called Boko Haram. They're basically a Nigerian group. Boko Haram is the same thing like ISIS as well. they're a Muslim group, they're not really Muslims because they're killing people. Because as a Muslim, like I already explained to you, El, as a Muslim, you're not allowed to do that. You ain't allowed to kill anybody if you're a Muslim person. But what they do is basically they're
not allowed. Well, most importantly, they're supposed to kill another Muslim brother.
Yeah. They kill anybody. That's what people don't understand.
But did you come up Muslim? Yeah. Like your family was Muslim too?
Yeah. In Somalia, everyone's Muslim in it. It's like 100% Muslim, okay. Yeah. Like obviously Nigeria is not 100% Muslim. Like Nigerians, they got like Christians, they got Muslims, but when you look at Africa, yeah, like Africa only got like two religion. It's either Christianity or Muslim. But the thing is, like, if you go to any African country, you're still gonna find Muslims anyway. But even though they're Muslims and Christians, they all get along. They're still brothers. You know what I mean? But the problem is, like, I don't know, man. Africa used to be an innocent country. Now we act like animals. We kill each other because we got outside influence. Back in the day, black people, they used to be really nice. You know? Now, I don't know, we got outside interference, made us greedy, made us violent. And when you look at Africa, like, yeah, we're innocent, like we're supposed to be nice people, but outside influence made us the way we are. Like, you know, and I don't know, like I think the whites kind of, you know, especially when I say whites, I'm saying like the USA, the UK, they ruined Africa, man. They ruined the black people in Africa. Our mentality has changed. We got the mentality of like the white man. We took that mentality on. You know what I mean? Robbing people, raping, all that sort of stuff. It comes from the white man, and they teach us that behavior. And I hope they can change that behavior. And that's the thing. You know what I mean? And even in America, you got that as well. When you see blacks acting the way they act, that mentality doesn't come from black people. Like it comes from the whites. The whites is what, you know, they teach people that. You know what I mean? It's just that mentality. Blacks are, you know, originally like the good people, the innocent, but the mentality has changed, bro, man.
Well, that's one of the things that I discussed in the stream too, like where it was relating to hip hop, as far as like on an executive level, like with these record labels and whatnot. There's no black people that are any executive position, a real executive position in any hip hop conglomerate or any record conglomerate at all. So like Tekashi 6ix9ine snitching and being accepted back into hip hop, like we seen this past week, was not a decision or co-signed by anybody who looks like me, you, or Mike. You know, that's a decision that was made by, you know, some executive that never even stepped foot into a street, and it was probably done solely to the detriment of the consumers that act out on that shit, which is usually black and Latin cats. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what you say is true as far as like, you know, that attitude or that way of being is not something that's a pre-genetic disposition of black or Spanish people. That's stuff that we start to learn, and then we always act out on it in the worst way.
Well, that's like you know, when I was on Lion Killers channel, and I said it before this, you know, that's the reason why, like, you know, I think they really laughing at us. You know what I'm saying? With that whole Tekashi shit, because, you know, every time, you know, somebody get up, you know, whether or not it's a
bless you.
Thank you. Every time is listen, let's just say he's calling himself the king of New York, he's calling himself hip hop and all this shit, right? And you got this guy going around here going around here doing all these things that's against the grain of being an upstanding citizen, being a good citizen and all that stuff, you know, and at the same time is they not showing that all these kids that look like me, an NFL player, graduating from college, becoming doctors, becoming firemen, being successful in life. They're not showing that. What they perpetuate in these music videos, and they always do it. You know what I'm saying? Over and over again. You know, from the writers to these executives and stuff like that. They push this shit over and over again.
Like the
Yeah,
shit
but
is funny.
who makes those? Who do you think makes those
and it's like
decisions?
and it's like damn near it keeps us down because they it always takes like a few generations to get ahead. You see what I'm saying? It always takes a few generations to get ahead. Like you got 5 kids, only one to go to college. This person does this person does this. But the thing about it is, as them 5 kids, they each have like 2, 3 children or something like that. So there's like 25, 50 kids. I mean, family members that can come from those 5 people. You see what I'm saying? And then you got this. I mean, it's just complicated because I can think about it in my head, but I really don't know how to explain it. But when you just break it down, you see how these kids act in school. You see how all these dumbass fights in World Star Hip Hop. You see these motherfuckers going up in dollar stores just shooting people because somebody asked them to wear a goddamn mask, and all this buffoonery that go down. Then you start looking at Love and Hip Hop. You start looking at Tekashi. You could look at Tekashi. Even look at the music videos. What is it? What is the image that is giving people? All the way down to fast food. They telling you, you know what I'm saying? Go out there and get this dumb shit. Go out there and get this dumb shit. Rather than go out here and actually get in the kitchen and cook. Don't raise your kids. The teachers got you. Go out there and party, get some of this C-Rock. Go out there and party and get some of this Ace of Spades. Go out there and party, get some of this Moet and this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Everything that hip hop is about right now, that's on mainstream, is about doing the black folks and the brown folks in.
But it's been that way though, Mike. Honestly,
no,
if you think about,
I'm gonna tell you something. It ain't never been all that way. Because even some of the mainstream dudes that was talking that shit, even they had some real shit to say. I don't care if it was Wu-Tang Clan. I don't care if it was Ice Cube. I don't care if it was Tupac. I don't care if it was Eazy-E. I don't care who it was. When them dudes actually really did have a real live fucking interview, and the shit that they fucking said in those interviews, they didn't come as a dumbass. They didn't come as this dude that really want people to go out there and gangbang and shoot one another and sell dope and all this shit. They didn't come out of them interviews.
Yeah, but people weren't checking the interviews.
And all the shit they come reading, listen to interviews. They come off as dumbasses. They come off as idiots.
But peep it though, Mike. A lot of the artists that you mentioned before, people weren't largely checking for their interviews. People were checking for their music. And even though a lot of those artists check it though. But even though a lot of the artists may have had a conscious song here and there, like largely a lot of the shit that they were told to put out there or that was selected to be their singles.
But wait a minute though. They were looking for those because every time they had an interview, it was because no social media, you was watching. You was watching Arsenio Hall. You was watching those guys out there that they were getting interviews from.
I mean, I do see what you're saying, like that their interviews had more impact than what an interview would have like nowadays. But at the end of the day, like a lot of the shit they were putting out, even though Tupac had a lot of conscious songs, like like Brenda Had a Baby, and Tupac was raised in a pretty much conscious environment, if you will. But at the end of the day, Tupac made a bunch of songs that were fucking about fucking dumb shit at the end of the day, and I love Tupac.
Okay, but if you go back and you look at his interviews, and then you see him going up there with Chuck D and all those guys, the heavy hitters, and actually talking to them and stuff like that. Yeah, you can hear what he was saying. Tupac always told folks that there was a difference between the music and him, but still with him, with all that gangbanging and shit like that, he was just living in the moment. But at the same time, he even said it. And he even said at the end of the day, with the whole situation with him and Biggie, he even said it at the end of the day between the West Coast and the East Coast. He even said in the interview about really what it was. He didn't say it wasn't. I don't know. He said it. I don't know why all y'all getting in the mix of it. If you look at where it really came from, the source and all this cats, what me and Biggie got going on ain't got nothing to do with nobody else.
But I mean, it was sold that way, though. I mean, and he knew it was sold that way. I mean, and it's not just harping on Tupac, though. Like, I mean, like It's just that, like, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of this destructive behavior that we have in our communities stems completely from fucking hip hop, bro. Also, you know, like, and I was trying to make that point before too. Like, a lot of the
Okay.
shitty.
But check this out though. If back in those days, right? You see an interview with Tupac talking about getting into politics or whatever the case may be, is right.
Yeah.
If you want to say that Tupac is whether or not he's hip hop or not, right?
It
You
is.
couldn't. I mean, I got a good feeling that if he would have been living for the next, after he died, the next 10, 15 years, I think there would have been more positivity than negativity.
No, I get
because the dude was really trying to put people.
I agree with what you're saying. Like, had he lived, that he probably would have took a more conscious turn. But the same people that put him on, or that put Tekashi on, or that decided that Black Mikey's not gonna get a big career, but some mumble rapper like Tyrone said is gonna get a career. Those same people probably would have said like, "Yo, let's get Tupac the fuck out of here," or they would have said like, "Come up with some shit like to make Tupac's name resonate with the people."
Well, Black Mikey did have his chance back in the days to blow up, but you know,
no, you know what I'm saying though.
You know,
what I meant that in the sense that
he ended up landing nigga down.
No, these people that really have big rap careers are selected. Every one of them. Like, nobody gets on by luck, or like, nobody gets on by their talent. Tyrone Smith said that mumble rap is awesome. Mumble rap.
Tyrone said what?
That mumble rap is awesome.
I mean, but you know, if you want to say mumble rap is awesome and shit like that, man, if that's your type of style and stuff like that, you know, so be it. But what you gotta understand is the context that what your brain is listening to.
I just figured out how to show the comments too, bro. My bad.
Nah, you can actually just open up your computer. You just have to open up another screen of YouTube. You know, that's his business. But am I gonna listen to mumble rap, sweetie rap, rainbow rap? No, I'm not gonna get down with it. No, I'm not because I know what it is. I know there's too many artists out there that actually, you know, sound good and shit like that, and can talk about the same shit. Talk about the same shit that actually can flow. Actually got lyrics. Not sitting up over there and everybody sounding like a goddamn hype man, because that's all it is. Because without them hard ass beats they got, they won't be shit. The lyrics, because back in the days, remember, folks actually listened to your fucking lyrics. A side, B side, you know what I'm saying? With the cassettes, people actually listen to your motherfucking lyrics. These days, people ain't even really listen to it. And if they do listen to your lyrics, they're only thinking about the lyrics that talking about, oh, sucking nigga dick with some truck fitter, this and the third, blah, you know, the dumb shit. Like, anybody is like you as an individual, you can come up with punchlines. Like, you couldn't come up with that dumbass shit.
No, and
but the person that said
I know.
Really like that shit, you could come up with that shit.
But who, like,
get you a hard ass beat,
that's why I say
do just like what they do on Karaoke 5150.
But that's why I say that a lot of these dudes that get on are selected to get on, like, and they're not selected by no dude that looks like Tyrone Smith or like Michael or like P Boxing. Those dudes are selected by some old white cat.
Tyrone could get on because he light skinned.
Oh, I forgot.
He light skinned. He got curly hair and shit like that. He could be the new, you know,
he got green eyes.
You know, he could be the new 6ix9ine.
Tyrone got blue eyes.
Yeah, he could be the new 6ix9ine. You know what I'm saying? He could be that. He could be the new Chris Cross. Or matter of fact, he could be the new Milli Vanilli on stage with the spandex shorts.
Yeah, man. Nah, but I want to save a lot of meat for this topic. No homo. for future streams too, man. Because the I want to get into like the whole like Batiman stuff that be happening in hip hop, or that they what I feel like that they make these hip hop artists do to get on and whatnot. Like I completely believe a lot of that stuff. Like and I've heard a lot of that stuff firsthand about these rappers doing suspect stuff to get on in the game. If you guys are familiar with that, I don't know if you're familiar with any of these rumors, P-Boxing. And also, and P-Boxing also too. Tyrone Smith wants to know if you listen to Kanan.
Kanan, I don't really listen to like I don't have like a specific music anymore. Like the last time I listened to like normal music, like not when I say normal, I mean like like stuff like Tupac, like Biggie, like the basic ones like 50 Cent. I've never really been like a music person. And I listen to especially where in England, like people like Jamaican music. We like Jamaican music, like Beanie Man and reggae music and stuff like that. Yeah, I like all music, man. B Diddy, like what I mean. Like we don't have like a specific, what I mean. We don't say like, oh, I listen to this, I listen to that. I just listen to like we listen to like grime as well. That's like the English hip hop.
Yeah, I know what it is.
So yeah, man, I listen to anything that goes with the flow. You know what I'm saying? Like it has to go with my flow. Like what I mean. Sometimes I might even listen to what I mean, like soft songs, like like Madonna, or what I mean. It depends what mood I'm in.
Like that, bro. I don't give a fuck.
You know what I mean? Like,
honestly, Mike's nodding his head no, but honestly, bro, like the only thing I don't listen to, the only shit I don't listen to is country music. I won't listen to at all. But
what country that American
chicken fried.
Yeah,
or right, on a Friday night.
Or right after that.
That fit just right.
Or right after that.
World, I see sunrise.
Oh, I was
see the love in the woman's eyes.
I was watching a movie. I was watching a movie, like an American movie, and I forgot what movie that was. But it was a two black guys. One was the dad and one was the son. And the dad was singing like country music, and the son was like, "What, Dad? Why are you singing this song? This is not us." I forgot that movie, man. Oh, which movie was this? But anyway, it was a good movie. But they were both like contractors, like killers, and the dad, he sings like they're both black, but the dad sings like country songs, the way you were singing just now. And the son is like, "Oh, Dad, why do we need to listen to this stuff? This is not us."
Well, I'm gonna tell you one thing. That is us. That is us. I mean, we invented that shit. That is us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, that is us. But I'm gonna tell you one thing. This is what I did when I hopped. First thing when I hop in my kayak, I turn my Bluetooth speaker on, put my phone on. I typed in Garnet Silk, Google Play, played the Garnet Silk radio, and then after that, about 2 hours later, I typed in Commodores. I played the Commodores playlist.
I fuck with the Commodores.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get down with a lot of this new shit. Some of the cats, yeah, I can get down with, but I don't get down with a lot of this new music. You know what I'm saying? Because I know exactly what it's about. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not going to put on certain people, because you got to understand it's just like boxing. This new boxer comes up, that new boxer, if he's happy to be good, that new boxer, if he goes somewhere else, he's taking money out of somebody else's mouth.
Yeah, for example, like
out of somebody else's mouth. All that money they spent on this guy is gone because now this new guy is on the block. So now he has potential to knock this dude off and take money out of everybody's mouth. And then guess what? All the publishing companies. How many publishing companies that are black out there? Far few in between. Because everybody got the Sony and Arista and all these other things. Rick Ross, he owned his own record label, but he's a fucking subsidiary of a
Big
major
time
record label.
subsidiary.
No, he's a
All of them do.
subsidiary of a record label. And that record label is a subsidiary of a major record label.
Absolutely.
Guess what? I stopped listening to Rick Ross. I used to like Rick
So-
Ross, but when I found out about the other Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross, when I found out that he took his name, it put me off, man.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Everybody out here fantasizes wanting to live the life. If you really coming out here talking about you a boss. Rick Ross, Drake, all these cats out here really do have the opportunity to wear if they really wanted to, because people gonna listen to their music whether or not they're not. They don't need nobody. Beyonce don't need nobody. Jay-Z ain't need nobody for the last 10, 15 years, because he had this nostalgic back in the day buzz about him, and he's still out here rapping, and it's kind of like, damn, Jay-Z making a new song, and in case niggas is saying, damn, Jay-Z making a new song, don't even know what the fuck he was doing back in the days.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Know that he was good back in the days, and he's good now. I want to live like it was back in the days, and go buy his record and listen to the dude. Kanye West, same thing. He get on back on his right track and shit like that. He don't need nobody to sell his shit.
Mike,
some of these cats out here don't need nobody.
Yo, Mike, people wanted to ask you a question too.
Mike, this is a different subject, but like I just want to quickly ask you, like Deontay Wilder, like a lot of people, like they say like Deontay Wilder, he's talking for us. Like, what do they mean by that? When they say he's talking for us, like, is it because when he said about that stuff in the interview with Raheem, like when he said that till this day?
It wasn't. In my opinion, with that, because I might get it wrong, so I'm gonna say my opinion. In my opinion, when folks say that Deontay Wilder was talking for us, I believe what that is that he knows the issues and he's talking about the issues. And then not only that, when you see how he moves and stuff like that, he's showing everybody that, because how he moves, he's telling people, come on in here to boxing. Come on over here and do this. Come on over here and do that. He's not doing the Adrian Broner. He's not doing the Tank Davis. He's not going on here. I like Errol Spence driving cars, having accidents, whether he was drunk or not, having accidents, putting his, he's not doing that. He's showing people that you don't have to do all this buffoonery to be successful. You don't have to do all this buffoonery to be a man and take care of your kids.
No,
you just have to get out here and grind. Hold up. You just got to get out here, grind, and do what you're supposed to do as a man. And most of all, take care of your family. But you ain't got to do nothing illegal to do it. You just got to it takes sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something.
Yeah, but I also think too, like, as far as an athlete goes, and this is going back a long time, like where Deontay Wilder like has given indications before that interview where he said till this day that
wait a minute.
About the...
How far are you going back with your old ass?
No. Well,
because your ass came over here a long time ago in America in the 1800s, nigga.
Nah, but seriously though, like he's as far as athletes go, P-boxing, like where when they've had chances to take that stance, especially here, American athletes, they usually will give a very blasé statement about it or a very like passé statement about it. But Deontay Wilder, like even before that interview where he said till this day, has given indications like where he was about the people more than a lot of other athletes have. But then when you also add that to the fact that he had that interview and he got so enraged and passionate about that when he said till this day, it just gave people that have been following him like the indication, like, yeah, this guy is really speaking for us, where a lot of athletes don't. Like a lot of athletes will speak on a certain situation when somebody gets killed by the police and whatnot. Yeah, they'll give a statement like where they may voice some displeasure in it. But Deontay Wilder, like as far as athletes go, recently especially, he's kind of like been about the business, like where his love for his people kind of like bleeds through. From my eyes,
I got something to tell you, fair play about. So you know, him and Deontay Wilder had a big. Obviously, they, you know, they shook hands, or you know, they did what they were supposed to do as men, and they still cordial.
You're speaking
you know
of the interview of Raider Rahim, right?
Well, after that, they still cordial. Like he's still willing to do it. You know, answer that dude's questions and shit like that. But I'm gonna give you some insight. I saw an interview with Radio Rahim. I don't know if it was on Joe Rogan. It was on somebody's shit.
Yeah, I seen that.
And he literally fucking downplayed that shit. He literally acted like Deontay Wilder was just talking nonsense. He said something to the aspect that, you know, that Deontay Wilder took his shit out of context. He didn't. He blew it off on their interviews, like, joked about it, like, no, you really been fucked up. You was sitting up over there trying to press an issue of some shit that you know about, and you asked the wrong fucking question, you got checked. That's all it was.
I feel what you're saying. Like I too watched that Joe Rogan interview with Radio Rahim. I thought that he was being dismissive of what took place, and
that's the right word. That's the right word. Dismissive.
And I seen afterwards too that Deontay Wilder and Radio Rahim have had a cordial relationship, which I'm not gonna. A lot of people wanted him to take the approach, like say fuck him, like, and not give him interviews after the fact. Like, I mean, like, once you put somebody in their place, you don't really got to take it there all the time when you see him, or
the question that I want to ask is basically like, like, obviously he's fighting for his people, but at the same time, like Muhammad Ali, the way Muhammad Ali was, he was very, very specific. Sometimes, he's getting watched by the whole world. It's not just America. Like, when he was talking, not a lot of people understood. Like, for me, I wish he was more specific. Like, if he says like, "Oh, I'm fighting for the black people," this, that.
No,
like,
he ain't gotta see. That's the thing, though. He ain't gotta be specific, and it really don't matter whether or not he comes out and say, because I really don't care, for far as if he say he's fighting for the black people, the white, whatever. The main thing about it is that when it's your time to be blessed, to be put on the stage of where Deontay Wilder is, whether that is boxing, whether that is football, soccer, or whatever, since God has blessed you with all this stuff, with to be in this position, with everything that's going on with this world, with all the things that you could have not been in this world, now you're a millionaire. Now you're an athlete. You're able to do things for your children. You're able to do things that you never thought you would ever do in this life, and you blessed, and you up over there talking about God and all that stuff, or you over there talking about you a Muslim, or you over there talking about you a Catholic, or you over there talking about you in some type of religion that has something to do with they always got a Messiah, they always got a prophet, they always got this, they always got something to say, treat your fellow man, this and the third, and you ain't gonna speak up for nothing.
Yeah, but most athletes, entertainers, artists, people in power don't, honestly. And Deontay Wilder, it wasn't his only calling card, because he's knocking motherfuckers out too. But Deontay Wilder also spoke up for his people, and I give him all the respect in the world for that. And I think a lot of people rooted against him because of that too.
And look at Devin Haney. If Devin Haney keeps that shit up,
Devin Haney wasn't body like that.
No, for real though. If Devin Haney keeps that, is being in tune to his blackness, and he does a lot of good work in the community and stuff like that. And if he keeps up talking about uplifting his black people and this and the third,
he's not going to, bro.
He will be that villain.
No. Let me tell you something real quick, Mike, and don't cut me off. But Devin Haney ain't gonna go above and beyond with statements like that no more. But even if he does it, just for saying that one thing, these white cats like that, like enjoy boxing and whatnot, or that root against like fighters like Deontay Wilder, they're gonna have distaste or hate for Devin Haney from here till eternity, just on the one statement. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Devin Haney and Deontay Wilder, as far as like being about it for their people, they're not on the same level in my eyes. Like, I don't think any athlete is really on that level.
Remember what I said, L? Remember what I said, L? I said it. Well, you probably wasn't there.
No, you were talking about. We were speaking on it yesterday too.
It's fucked up. When a white man does some shit like this, people will fucking forget about it, and they might bring it up, but it's not gonna have that same thing as when the black man does that shit. They ain't let Farrakhan down for the shit he said. See what I'm saying?
No, but I mean,
let you down for that shit.
I mean,
when you look at all these motherfuckers in boxing, let's just keep it boxing, that had something racial to say, the white people that had something racial to say, or the Oscar De La Hoyas that had something racial to say, people don't bring that shit back up. People don't have the same disdain for an Oscar De La Hoya and a Kovalev that they have for Deontay Wilder.
No, but I mean that's what it is. I mean, that's with all issues relating to black and white. But I do feel what you're saying though. A lot of times they'll forget it, and a lot of those things happened last year or like fucking very recent, if you will. Especially with Kovalev. Kovalev was playing himself many times, and people like try to forget it. But I mean, like, you know, it just like and Tyrone's about to jump in, man. Thanks for coming through, Tyrone.
Better call on Tyrone.
Nah, but you know, as a boxing connoisseur or as a people in general, it's just very good to know what you're dealing with. You know, like I think a lot of times people be acting like they get surprised by instances like this, like especially racial instances. Like I really don't, but I just like try to be very cognizant of like the people you're dealing with or the people you're contending against, pretty much. What up, Tyrone?
Yo, what's going on? What's up?
Chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling.
Excellent. Why don't you come out earlier? What the fuck?
Well, I went shopping, then I played some video games, and now I'm on.
What, you get some spandex?
Nah, I was getting some food.
What you get? Some chicken breast.
Nah, chicken breast. We had to get.
I told you.
Egos, fucking lettuce.
So you're putting
some of that Beyond Meat burger?
You're putting sustenance and video games ahead of your boy. Foul play. What the fuck, bro? Like,
nah, I'm sorry.
I'm fuck with you, bro. Nah, man.
You get some of that Beyond Meat burger, bro?
The what?
The Beyond Meat burger.
The Beyond
Meat.
Nah.
You're vegetarian too?
No, I'm not a vegetarian. What's a Beyond? You said no meat burger?
No. Beyond Meat is like it's like fake. It's like
No, you said it's a no meat burger.
Yeah. Yo, Mike, you sound fucked up.
Oh man, I got it. I'm gonna
no, you sound good. You sound good now.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Yo, in about 5 minutes though, I'm gonna try to break out, bro, because I gotta watch an episode of First 48 with my shorty.
Hey, Tyrone, did you get 2 packs of pussy while you was there?
No, I haven't had pussy.
Damn, because I'm gonna need one of them packs, man. I need a pack of pussy.
Tyrone, you said on the chat, like Alex wanted to ask me about Somalia, but I didn't get it.
I need to ask you what they got in Somalia. Alex said you're from Somalia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They got some.
What do you mean?
What do you mean by what they got in Somalia, though?
Like music.
I tell you what they got. in Somalia.
Music.
Man, them Somalis and them Ethiopians, they got some cold women.
Canaan. Canaan.
Man. That skin tone and that hair. Woo.
No.
Hey, and all the Somalis I know, all them women can drink.
I'll tell you what Somalia got. Somalia, like, we got one of the best food in the world, man.
They do, bro. Somalian food. I think Mike said Somalian cuisine is fucking excellent, bro.
Yeah, we do the best lamb. the best beef, like the steak, like I don't know, like the way we cook it, like like
Nah, they are, bro.
it's just
Michael Johnson said he went to I don't know what kind of, he said it was a Jamaican restaurant, but it was run by like, what's the restaurant that you said you used to,
at one point the Jamaican restaurant was ran by the dude from Liberia. That was talking about his family got ran out of Liberia. They was gonna kill the whole family.
But it was banging though, you said, right?
Yeah, well, I think his food was, he ended up selling it, but I think his food was better than the new ownership. And then not only that, he could actually cook. Like I went to his house like on many occasions and ate some Liberian food. He got to do a fusion between American and Liberian. So he make like the Liberian dish, but like the American twist, but using the Liberian and the African seasonings. Because
yeah, bro. Nah, but we have Somalians in DC, like Washington DC, which is like 3.5 hours from here. But they have a lot of Somalian restaurants, but they also have a lot of like they're kind of conceited though, believe it or not, bro. Like the ones I ran into, like they're because like a lot of them are like real like good looking, you know what I'm saying? Like they're just like very exotic looking, like they are, bro. Like, but and a lot of them in DC, like they're doing very well for themselves, like so it's kind of like they got their own little clique in a sense.
Yeah, it's the same thing in San Diego. You got a little spot. You got the Somalis that eat these. They actually got spots and parks for their their board game. You know what I'm saying? It's like actually like dishes designated for their board games. You know what I'm saying? And that's good that they showing that, because people need to understand, like, as black folks, you know what I'm saying, that we lost cultures and stuff like that. It's good that people see that stuff, because you can see that, you can you can do business, you can have fun, you can have relationships with people that look like you without having problems. But what it takes maturity.
Speaking about problems, yeah, like in the UK, where obviously where I live, like Somalians, obviously they're black, but like we had a lot of problem with the Jamaicans, because there's a lot of Jamaicans in the UK, and they used to say to us that we're not black, like, and I'm thinking, sometimes we're even more darker than the Jamaican, and I'm like, how are we not black? We used to fight a lot, but now we're cool with the Jamaican.
Where is King Selassie from?
He's from Ethiopia, which is next to Somalia. That's literally, we used to be from Ethiopia years ago. Yeah.
Nah, but if I know I got all the love in the world as far as YouTube shit, bro. Like, I got all the love in the world from my man Lowe's Dawkins, the pimpin'. Please go subscribe to my man. And I know he's Jamaican, bro, and I know he may take offense to this, bro, but it's not directed at him, because I love the dude. Shout out to Lowe's, shout out to his son, bro. But a lot of Jamaican dudes be tripping, bro. And Jamaicans, like, as a culture, bro, like with the skin bleach and all this shit, they're as like, dance hall music, a lot of that shit be suspect as hell. And a lot of, I know Jamaicans personally, bro. Them dudes ain't pussies. Like, they're killers, bro. But as a culture, bro, a lot of Jamaicans have slipped up in a big, big way, bro. Like in the 80s, bro, Jamaicans didn't accept nothing Batiman. Like, they ain't accept none of that stuff.
Like Batty Boy, they call it Batty Boy.
Yeah. But now,
remember that Jamaican bar I was talking to you about.
But they're bleaching their skin. They're letting like European cats go into Jamaica and like fuck their little kids. Like, Jamaicans have lost their way recently in a major way. Shout out to Lowe's Dawkins, the Pimpins. That's my man.
Yeah, but Last is basically not fully Jamaican. He's mixed race.
Yeah.
When you see mixed race,
I'm gonna put it to you like this. First of all, he called me back when he said he would. Listen, if you call me again, I'm gonna hang up. We ain't friends no more.
Listen. Lost is not a good example to use Lost, because Lost obviously is our friend. Lost is mixed race, But when you say that, I don't use those type of examples because he's mixed race. He comes from like, white and black background. So I'm talking about the Jamaicans. Like, when I see the Jamaicans, like
No, I know what you're
basically,
saying. I just didn't want Los to take offense to what I'm saying.
no, 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 no. Lost
Nah, I
never take
mean,
a fire.
but
No, 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 no. Lost understands these things. Lost, I don't think Lost will take. But plus, I don't think where he grew up, Lost. From the way when I spoke to him, I don't think he grew up like in the type of hoods like where I'm talking about, like from Bristol and London and all that sort of stuff. That's like where where the trouble happens. You know what I'm saying, between blacks.
well,
And
I'm putting it to you like this: from the conversations when I had with Laws seen all that shit firsthand. Well, how the Jamaicans were treated when they first got to the UK. Laws saw all that shit between him and his pops. He saw all that shit.
he's seen different things. Yeah, when
in
what
Brooklyn,
he's seen and what's going around, like in my days, because I'm a lot younger than obviously than Lost, and the Lost scene when obviously the Caribbeans when they came to the UK, obviously they came here to work back in the '60s. A lot of them came here like in the '60s to work, and they struggled a lot and a lot. You know what I mean? And they built this country, the UK. A lot of the Yaris, like it's not just Jamaicans; it's the whole Caribbean. You got like Barbados, Trinidad. You got Suriname, you got Curacao. The Caribbean is massive.
Haiti.
So basically, like they came over here and they built the UK. They done a lot of good jobs. The ancestors, they're good people. But I'm talking about the generation from like the '80s, downwards. They basically lost their way.
I wouldn't. But listen, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Let's not touch that and say the people that lost their way because everybody didn't. And
nah,
it's the
Mike.
same thing.
Nah, Mike.
It's the
No, I'll
same.
cut
Hold
you
up,
off
hold up,
though.
hold up, hold up,
Let me cut you off.
hold up.
Real,
Hold up.
I want to clarify my example though. Like
Okay.
if I gotta bring up two countries that I think have lost their way as far as culturally, I always say it's Jamaican cats and Dominican cats, and they
Well,
both have the same
no,
set of
and
circumstances.
that's fine. But
No,
I'm
no,
just
but
saying it's like
listen to me. Hear me out though. Hear me out. They both allow their countries to get fucking invaded by European tourists, and all those European tourists a lot of times be fucking little kids, and like they're totally cool with it. Secondly, with the skin bleaching shit, they're on at the head of doing that shit too. And another country that's lost their way in my eyes is Nigerian cats, bro. They're doing the same shit with the fucking whole white Jesus shit, skin bleaching, like fucking
no. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I'm gonna tell you about the skin bleaching. Nigerians don't like that shit. The ones that's doing that shit,
they're doing it though. I don't say all Nigerians. A lot of them
they doing it. Black chicks over here skin bleaching. You just don't know.
A lot of blacks do that. Even Somalians as well. You got the women; they use bleach as well. But
people in Japan skin bleach, Japanese people skin bleach, Chinese people skin bleach, American skin bleach.
The people that shouldn't be doing it the most, as far as colors go.
Okay, yeah.
It's and if you think about it too, and I'm not saying this to be.
And people in Japan, they get perms too. They get perms out there too.
No, but listen, peep it. As far as Spanish people go, the ones that are most black is probably Dominicans, bro. Like that are of any Latin country. The ones that are probably like most black are probably Dominican. Caribbean, most black, you're probably talking Jamaicans or Haitians, one of the two.
The Haitians.
But like, huh?
The Haitians.
Yeah.
That's what
but Nigeria, I don't, it's a part of Africa.
I will say this: if you are dark as fuck, I mean, maybe a couple of scrubs will help. Just get a bit lighter.
Nah, we don't need no yellow commentary, bro.
Dark as fuck.
Let me give y'all a fun fact. When you look at Little Richard, James Brown, right? Even they knew back in the days, they even saw it. They didn't skin bleach. Well, I know James Brown didn't because you can see the skin tone, but I don't know about Little Richard.
Yeah, word up.
But we know Little Richard wear makeup all day. But Little Richard even knew, like, nobody gave a damn when I was nappy head and stuff like that. People were scared of me. I couldn't go to these clubs. I couldn't go to those clubs because back then, you black and stuff like that. They didn't want you to go up over there and looking like extra black and stuff like that, and try to take their women. But as soon as I start, perming my hair and stuff like that, then all of a sudden I can get to this spot, I can get to that spot, I can get into this spot, and so I just started figuring out different ways to do my thing. Same thing with James Brown. James Brown is the one that got Al Sharpton to start perming his hair. Real life fact. James Brown is the one that got Al Sharpton to start perming his hair.
Yeah, but they both look dumb as shit perming their hair, bro. It's stupid as fuck. If you permed your hair tomorrow, bro, I would.
Even James Brown told Al Sharpton, man, you can't come. These folks, they scared of that black hair and all this stuff with the afro, blah, 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 blah. But you do this, and the same thing happened with Al Sharpton. So he got the perm, and then all of a sudden people start liking him more.
Yo, I gotta dip off though, boys. My bad, bro. I mean, we gotta carry this conversation another day, bro. Because
too.
Come back live tomorrow.
Ain't Dominican. Nah, but I want to carry. Yeah, he's Dominican, bro. But I want to carry this conversation another day, bro. Like, yo, Tyrone, any last words if you could, bro? And please say your channel too.
No, not really. I mean, y'all can follow me on Tyrone Smith. Just put that in YouTube and then put boxing.
He said Tyrone.
Yeah, Tyrone Smith boxing. Put boxing next to it to put it out there.
You sound fucking unapologetically uninspiring, bro. What the fuck? Right? Like, nah,
hey, Tyrone,
really.
no, you need to put boxing at the end of your name though, because when people try to find you, man,
that's what I'm saying.
It ain't gonna work out.
He doesn't have
it took me a long time to find Tyrone because it just says Tyrone Smith, and like I seen loads of Tyrone Smith. So when you send me that, you know what I mean, that's the only way I found it. But yeah, you got to put like boxing in there, you know what I mean, because it's hard to find it, bro.
Yeah, I put the name. You just.
And I'm gonna make it my. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm fucking anybody in this game, but I do want to make it my goal for all of you to like fucking come up in the world too. But Tyrone Smith is, if you guys don't know that are listening, fucking, he's a pup, bro. He's young as shit, fucking, and he's smart as shit too, bro. And he's doing his thing scholastically. So, you're very smart, bro. You're selling yourself short, but scholastically, he's doing his thing, and want to prop him up in this world, man. But any last words, P Boxing? Thanks for coming on too, man.
Yeah, man. I'm sub to all of you guys, and I'm sub to Mike. I'm sub to you as well. I'm sub to Tyrone.
Thank you.
Lost. I sub to a lot of channels. Like I like a lot of channels, unless obviously if they're racist, you know what I mean. Other than that, like I'm sub to a lot of channels, and you know what I mean. I'm here to support the community, and it's great what you're doing. I hope you can come live more often. Give us like next time when you go live, is there any way you could schedule it? Then that way I can see that, because YouTube doesn't send out notification no more. I think they stopped doing that for a while. They don't really send out notification.
I'm gonna talk to MJ or Tyrone behind the scenes. I'm gonna try to find out how to schedule it.
Yeah, find out how to do it. It's easy anyway to do it. I think, but when you type in the title, I think underneath it should say like scheduling. So I think you should schedule it. It's easy to find anyway. That way I can see it. When something is scheduled, like you should see like, oh yeah, else it's coming on like tomorrow, or he's coming on in 5 hours, or you know what I mean. That way it's a lot easier.
It's easy for regular. It's easy for a normal functioning adult, but I'm a few echelons below that. But
no. It's easy.
I'm gonna find it out though. Let the people know your channel too.
Yeah, it's just P Boxing, P and then Boxing. The way my name is, anyway, you should find it with my icon, the one you could see on the screen. Yeah, man, it's been lovely talking about all these things, man. It's nice to talk about, other than boxing, because at the moment there's no boxing on. It's shares crap, but it is what it is. But you know what I mean. But yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
Nah, definitely, man. Thanks for coming through again. Salam, and enjoy like the rest of the days of Ramadan. Like I know it's tough fasting, but
it's easy, man. I've just been sleeping, and my time zone is like an American time zone now. Right now, yeah, it's like even though it's 2:30 in the morning, I'm living your time scale, man.
Nah, that's
because
so
of the pandemic stuff.
Yeah, but hold the fort, like and enjoy the meal tomorrow, like when you do eat. But Mike, any last words too, and let the people know, man. Like my brother Michael Johnson, but I'll say Mike's channel, Michael Johnson Boxing Talking More. Mike's my brother. Talk to Mike all the time, and thanks for coming through, man.
Oh man, anytime. Likewise, my black African brother, and see you through the fist up, baby.
Yo.
There's nothing behind that. I say that to everybody, white and all that stuff. But hey, man, y'all keep doing what y'all doing out there, Tyrone, Pep, and El Foul Player, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing out there, man. If I haven't subscribed to none of y'all, just go to one of my videos, Pep, and put your link in there. And I'll
subscribe to that. Like just subscribe. Like you go look for them, bro. Subscribe.
Nah, because man, y'all, it be tough, man. Looking for folks, man. It ain't that easy as you think it is. And it just hit me up for that StreamYard shit, man. We worked that out with the scheduling shit. I would like that too. I've been talking about the scheduling shit for a very long time because I think we all need to do that and get not a script, but a chronological order of things that we want to talk about and stuff like that. Not super organized, but just organizing a bit. I like the way you've been doing it though, El Foul Player, because at least you've been holding it down. You've been making sure that you're not asking the same questions. You making people answer questions that to basically create better dialogue.
Thank you, man.
And I like the way you've been doing that. And I'm glad you finally went live, my brother.
Thank you, bro. I'm glad I fucking bought a laptop, bro. Nah, but like again, thanks for coming through, bro. Like Salam, fucking my bad, I cursed after saying that, but thanks for coming through again, man.
Cool.
Hopefully I go.
Cool, man. I'm not strict, man.
Yeah,
I'm not really strict. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully the next time I come through, man, y'all all join me.
All right, man. Bless, guys, man.
With that, peace, man. I'm out. Thanks for coming into the Foul Play Land.
Yeah.